Good evening and welcome to the Moravian College Alumni Association's 18th Annual Alumni Awards Ceremony. My name is William Reynolds. I am the president of the Alumni Association here at Moravian College, and I am delighted that you can join us this evening as we recognize the accomplishments of current students and the extraordinary achievements and invaluable service of our alumni. In addition to this year's award recipients, we are proud to have a number of our past recipients here with us tonight. I would like to ask each previous Alumni Award and Alumni Fellow recipient to stand so that we may recognize you. Thank you for being here tonight to honor this year's recipients. I would also like to thank Mr. Ken Rampula, member of the class of 1979 and the chairman of the Board of Trustees, for being with us tonight. And we are especially pleased, as always, that our president, Dr. Brian Grigsby, can share in our celebration this evening. 1990 graduate of Moravian, President Grigsby's enthusiasm, vision, and leadership continues to transform the Moravian community and inspire alumni who have met him since his arrival in July of 2013. And I can tell you this is not in my prepared remarks, but I know that ever since Brian got to campus, there's a different feeling in the community. And not just the community on campus or on Main Street, but also the Bethlehem community and the Moravian community. The enthusiasm, the vision that Brian has brought to the college. And you know, I think everybody's standing up a little bit straighter, talking a little bit louder about Moravian, and just understanding that like we have a lot to be proud of. And there's an idea that comes with being a part of this community. And I think Brian, with Brian's leadership, he's not just kind of shown us or talked about what we were or what we are, but more importantly about what we can be as alumni, and members of this beloved community. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce our president, President Grigsby.
Thanks, Willie. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. It is Vespers time of the year, but we're also Moravian, and we embrace also Happy Hanukkah for those of you celebrating Hanukkah or Kwanzaa. We are open and celebrating of all faiths at Moravian. We do make a difference in this world. We may be small, but we are mighty. We have changed how needle pricks are done in this country. We've changed how we think about education from Comenius on, of educating the poor and the women, of rejecting Harvard. We've been rejecting Harvard ever since Comenius rejected Harvard. If you don't know that story, you can ask me later. We have created things like Got Milk and Gatorade. Those have all been marketing campaigns of Moravian alums. We have educated countless people. We have been leaders in education. We have been judges. In fact, one of our alumni ended his service protecting George Bush recently. He was in the final detail of George Bush's Secret Service and ended his detail when he buried George Bush. We have protected others through the police and advocated for others as public attorneys. Tonight you'll meet some of our youngest hounds, our pups, as I like to call it. They have run student government, they sit on the board of trustees, they are actively involved in the campus and in the community. We do an amazing job of preparing the next generation. And tonight you will meet others that we prepared a while ago, and they are entering and have changed the workforce or changed education or changed the pharmaceutical industry. We have a lot to be proud of, and we need to tell people how much we have changed this world for the better. So thank you all for being here. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and go Hounds.
Thank you, President Grigsby. I would now like to introduce Amanda Werner-Manza, Moravian's Assistant Director of Alumni Engagement and a member of the class of 2013.
Thank you, Lily. I am delighted to present our 2018 Alumni Fellows tonight. These awards are given in recognition of academic excellence, leadership, and service to Moravian and the greater community. This year, like most, it was very challenging to decide on just 4 students to honor. These 4 students are not only exceptional students academically, but they have been exceptional leaders on Moravian's campus, in the local community, and the wider world. They have distinguished themselves through various leadership positions, athletic achievements, community service, and countless clubs and organizations. Each student will receive a framed certificate in recognition of their outstanding achievements and a $250 scholarship. As I read your names, please come forward to receive your certificate and be recognized for your achievements. Then remain standing until all of the students have been recognized. Woodrow Battle is a senior environmental economics and policy major. He is an active campus leader participating in USG, Omicron Delta Epsilon, 26 Points Ambassadors, and the track and field team, along with many other groups. He also serves his community on voter registration drives and various committees related to the I-80 expansion. A professor said Woody's willingness to be vulnerable in the learning process while keeping his mind, heart, eyes, and ears open always has encouraged the legacy he has created at Moravian College as a student leader. Congratulations, Woody. Jameson Ernst is a senior English secondary education major with minors in Spanish and mathematics, as well as an ESL certification. She has been described by her education professor as patient, caring, approachable, and genuinely interested in young people. She is a senior resident advisor, editor of the manuscript and the Comenius, as well as a member of the Christian Fellowship Group and Sigma Phi Iota, along with many other organizations as well. Congratulations, Jamie. Matt Geary is a junior nursing major, and many faculty and staff recognize him as a tremendous student leader on Moravian's campus. He serves as president of USG, is a Millennium Fellow, member of 26 Point Ambassador, the Disciplinary Review Committee, and President's Council. He has also served on the Nursing Curriculum and Evaluation Team, as well as the Middle States Accreditation Committee. Congratulations, Matt. Madison Schanenberger is a senior accounting major. She is extremely involved in the economics and business department as their student worker and research assistant. The department describes Maddie as someone who will go above and beyond to ensure accuracy and is extremely dedicated. She has been a vital role in our department. Maddie is also a member of the Accounting Club, Amrine Investment Club, SAC, and Habitat for Humanity. She's a skilled softball player, playing for the Greyhounds all 4 years, as well as an instructor of others with the Fast Pitch Softball Association. Congratulations, Maddie. Congratulations to all our Alumni Fellows tonight.
Congratulations to all of our student recipients this evening. We will now turn to honoring our alumni recipients. The Young Alumni Achievement Award is given in recognition of the outstanding professional achievement of an alumnus or alumna who has graduated from Moravian within the last 10 years. Here to present Jennifer Weaver, 2009, our 2018 Alumni Achievement Award recipient for her extraordinary work in the field of biopharmaceuticals is Brian Corvino, class of 2002.
I'm both honored and excited to have the opportunity to present the Alumni Achievement Award to Jen Novatnack Weaver. I first met Jen about a decade ago when she was a biology student, and it was clear to me when I first met her that she had so much to offer the world. Among the many things, we had the chance to engage in a variety of discussions around her passions and her career aspiration to blend science and business. I wasn't thinking about that at that age. By luck, I convinced her to join our firm, Pharmastrat, upon graduation, which at that time was an unknown life sciences consulting firm started by a bunch of 20-somethings from Moravian College and others. Jen always had a tremendous commitment. For example, she graduated on a Saturday and started at Pharmastrat on the following Monday. And she used a single Sunday to transfer from a student to an employee. Pretty impressive. At Pharmastrat, she was an instant star. She helped advise most of the leading global pharmaceutical companies on medication affordability and patient access, and grew to be a leader in our firm. You might recall that in 2009, the year that Jen graduated, was one of the heights of the Great Recession. As a fragile startup, we were really concerned about the viability of our business. That being said, Jen joined our team and helped us not only survive, but thrive as she helped our firm become one of the leading consultancies in our space. Today, the business that she helped serve to build a foundation for is now the foundation of a company of 1,300 employees across 18 countries. Jen is someone who always placed a high value on education and pursued further education at both Rutgers and Penn State University, where she received her master's degree. Now, at the time, we used to joke with her because she really only finished Moravian with something like a 3.94 GPA. So what she decided to do was to go to Penn State, and she decided to show us all up, and she decided to get a 4.0 instead. Now, she truly epitomizes the value of a liberal arts excellence because she might be the only person that I've ever known that has the breadth of intellect to conquer organic chemistry, as well as organizational psychology and development, and then everything in between. Now, following Pharmastrat, she continued to advance her career at Merck, one of the world's most respected biopharmaceutical companies in the world. And she's really grown to serve a variety of diverse roles, always with increasing responsibility across the business. And in parallel, she's been committed to establishing and contributing to multiple initiatives focused on women leadership and mentorship. What's funny is Jen always found herself to be one of the youngest people in a room or in a role. However, you'd never know that given her maturity, intellect, and leadership. As many of you know, the mission of Moravian College is to provide liberal arts education that prepares each individual for a reflective life, fulfilling careers, transformative leadership, and a world of change. When reflecting on the contributions and success that Jen has achieved so far, it's apparent that she's an exemplar of our community. In just a few short years, she has solidified herself as a respected leader in the world of biopharmaceuticals and has leveraged a broad and diverse range of skills to navigate challenges while also mentoring and inspiring others. Jen, you have and had and will continue to have an amazing impact on the industry, those that you have mentored, and those that you have inspired. While you've accomplished much, this leadership comes with inherent responsibility to continue to strive for excellence in all you do. And as you continue to persevere in your journey ahead, please don't forget your obligation to pay it forward to the next generation of leaders that are following in your footsteps. The obligation of leadership is continued service above self. Tonight, my wife Jamie and I chose to bring my two children, Cameron and Maeve, who are behaving very well, to this event. We chose to bring them this evening because we wanted them to be inspired by the example of leadership that you and others on the stage tonight are being recognized for and have set. To the Novatnack family, you've done a great job raising an amazing daughter. This award is a recognition of the care and support and inspiration that you've given Jen. Jen, you're an amazing mother to Jacob, husband to Jeff, friend to many of us, leader in your industry, and inspiration to many, both known and unknown. I look forward to the many successes and contributions that you have ahead of you. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to Moravian College and the Alumni Association for this recognition today. It's very humbling, and I definitely appreciate this acknowledgement and receipt of this award. I'd also like to thank Brian for the kind words in the walk down memory lane, and also importantly for hiring me when I was 22 and taking a chance on me. When I found out I was receiving this award tonight, it gave me an opportunity to reflect back over the last 9.5 years or so since I graduated, and also the 4 years that I spent here at Moravian. I grew up in Bethlehem. I hung our star on our tree, our Christmas tree at home today, and it's always been a place that's been so near and dear to my heart. I remember when my mom and I came and did our first tour, I just felt like this was the right choice and where I wanted to go to pursue my degrees in biology and management. It felt like the perfect balance for me of kind of a warm, inviting culture, a small feel on the campus, but also the rigor and the challenging courses that I wanted to pursue on the science side. So I'm thinking about, really what prepared me best when I was here at Moravian and how Moravian set me up for success in my career path. There were a couple things that came to mind for me. First was just the people. I've met some fantastic individuals during my time at Moravian, lifelong friends, amazing faculty and advisors, and also alumni who I was able to network with from an early point in my time at Moravian and helped me kind of shape what I wanted to do in terms of my career path. They've all provided guidance to me and help at different decision points in my career, and for that I'm really appreciative of making those connections. Second, I would say, is the flexibility in the programming. Something I felt really passionate about early on was combining science and business courses. That was very atypical at the time when I was here, so I loved that I could go from the science lab to an accounting course or a marketing course. I felt like it really helped prepare me best for the challenges that I wanted to pursue post-graduation. Third is if you've ever taken an organic chemistry lab or you've maintained a fruit fly colony in genetics class, you know that is very intense, hard work. And so I was thinking back on all the transferable skills that I developed here while I was a student that were invaluable to me as I pursued my career and sought employment post-graduation. Dedication, commitment, accountability, just thinking about ways to just get stuff done. There's just a lot that goes on in the program that's so exciting. And then, finally, I would say around opening opportunities for me and opening doors for me. That's where I met Brian. The way I learned about PharmaStrat was actually there was a poster in the hub outside the cafeteria. I was getting lunch one day, and it said, you can submit an essay for a healthcare-related question, and you can get a scholarship from PharmaStrat. And I was like, what's PharmaStrat? So I was Googling PharmaStrat, I got put in contact with Brian, and I was like, healthcare consulting, this is the perfect place for me to go post-graduation. Here we are today. So I just say thank you again, really appreciate all the opportunities that I was afforded by coming to Moravian. I also want to thank my family, my parents, my Grammy, and my husband who are in the audience who always supported me in everything that I do and aspire to do. So very appreciative. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. When I first ran for public office about 10 years ago, I was walking down your street, and I remember knocking on your door, and your father was in the middle of gutting a deer or something, but in between that, while I was scared, that was not the world I came from, he was talking about how much he loved Moravian, how much he loved the city of Bethlehem. I had a chance to work with him when he became our fire commissioner here in the city of Bethlehem, but in that conversation I remember him talking about how proud he was of his family and how he said, oh, you went to Moravian, my daughter's going to Moravian. So I want to say congratulations again. Following the tradition of Moravian's founder, Countess Benigna von Zinzendorf, Moravian has long produced dedicated educators who are innovative leaders and advocates for education. In recognition of the important role our Moravian alumni have played in the field of education, the Alumni Association is proud to give the Benigna Education Award. Here to present the 2018 Benigna Education Award recipient, Diane Mandry, 84, is Robert Gratz, Director of Alumni Engagement and Class of 1975.
Good evening, everybody. And congratulations to all the recipients tonight. What an honor. What an honor to present Diane Mandry to you all. I've observed Diane Mandry as a professional. And you can read the bio, and it really captures what Diane has done and who she is. But unless you observe it, the words are just words, but when you see those words come to life, you'll know that Diane, she has that special sauce. Brian Grigsby talks about that Moravian College alumni have that special sauce. What is that? You know that when that person walks in the room, it lights up. The meeting works. You're successful. You leave that endeavor feeling better about who you are and participating in that event. That's Diane Mandry. Diane Mandry has served 13 years as a superintendent in the same district. I was 16 years in 3 different districts. It takes a special person in this day and age to last that long. As a daughter, as a sister, a wife, a mother, an aunt, a colleague and a friend, Diane is an outstanding role model, a loving partner. She inspires, she supports, she cares, and she is present. Diane, congratulations.
Thank you, Bob, for that very nice introduction, and thank you for being an amazing colleague of mine in Warren County. Also, thank you to Moravian College for this award. I'm very fortunate to work at Powhatan School District. I have wonderful students, a hardworking staff, great parents at our school district, and a dedicated board of education that's led by our president, Pat Babcock. Our board is forward-thinking and always does what is best for students. Very fortunate to have that. All these people work very hard with me, and we foster a culture of learning in a warm, safe environment, and we continually improve our school district. It was important to me that I attend a college that I really felt comfortable with, and it was important to my parents that I go to college. I remember them stressing that when I was a very young girl. My sister and I were first-generation college students, and I thank my parents for seeing the value in education. I was introduced to Moravian College as a junior in high school by my high school principal. He brought 4 of us to this school that day, and as an adult I realized how wonderful that was that he took time out of his day to do that. I remember coming to Moravian and seeing the Comenius Hall and sitting at that bench in front of Comenius and thinking, wow, this is really a great place. 4 of us came with him that day, and all of us ended up coming to Moravian College. You've probably heard the phrase, be a little revolutionary, and you've probably seen it on the campus bus. Well, I think that Moravian really is a lot revolutionary. It's amazing the experience that I got as an educator right from my freshman year. I don't know if anybody remembers when there were Jan terms. You got to take a class for the whole month of January of something you were interested in. Well, I decided that I wanted to be in kindergarten for that whole month. Well, I certainly learned that I wanted to be a teacher, maybe not a kindergarten teacher, but I learned that I wanted to be a teacher. And it was really a great experience. So what ended up happening was you got to go into the classrooms in Easton School District and in Bethlehem School District right from the start, and you got to learn if you really wanted to be a teacher or not. And then when you came out of school, you hit the ground running. And I felt that I had all the tools necessary to be a good teacher. I don't want to forget, and I want to mention my professors. Dr. Katie was amazing, Dr. DeGlentic, and Dr. McDermott. They truly were top-notch professors in the education department. Mr. Lutz, who I mentioned as my high school principal, was not the only hound who influenced me during my education. Bob Gratz was actually such an amazing colleague, wonderful mentor, and always good for a laugh or two or three. John Pappas, class of 70, he was my New Jersey Department of Education mentor for my superintendency and my principalship, and I learned a lot from him. Frank Jurley, he was a Moravian football coach during the 80s and was my superintendent when I was principal. Pete Merluzzi, class of 74, he was another colleague of mine and an unofficial mentor. And then in addition, Tom Wilson, class of 61, he was on the Board of Education at Powhatan School District and was very knowledgeable. Right now, Mr. Wilson is in a nursing home in New Jersey, and I visit him about once a month, and all he can do is talk about Moravian. He still is just so happy about his days at Moravian. And ironically, my first hire was a fellow alumna, Carolyn Bernhardt, class of 2014. All of these people embodied what I consider to be the spirit of Moravian and contributed to my good fortune, and I'm very thankful. Last but not least, I'd like to acknowledge my husband, Bill Mandry, my son, Tom Mandry, my nephew and godson, Nick, and my niece, Taylor. Thank you for coming and supporting me. And I'd also like to thank my family for putting up with all of the night events that I've attended over my career. In addition, I'd like to thank them for putting up with the early morning phone calls when we're deciding if we're going to cancel school. And I certainly need to thank my husband too, who was an attorney, for all of his free legal advice over the years. And my sister and mother for all of the babysitting services that they gave me. So thank you to everyone. Thank you, Moravian College, for giving me the tools to be successful. I think that the college is top-notch and it's a lot revolutionary under the guidance of President Grigsby. Thank you very much for this award.
Thank you, Diane. Each year, the Moravian College Alumni Association recognizes an alumna or alumnus for his or her outstanding service to Moravian College, and the Alumni Association with the Medallion of Merit Award. This is truly a very prestigious award because it is awarded to an alumna or alumnus for continued and exceptional dedication to Moravian. This year, we are thrilled to be presenting 2 Medallion of Merits. The first recipient can regularly be found on campus, donning his Moravian gear and pitching in to beautify campus by donating items like the star in the new Health Sciences building. Here to present the 2018 Medallion of Merit Award to Jody Miller, class of 1970, is Dr. Joseph Shosh, class of 1988 and professor of education.
I am incredibly honored to present the Medallion of Merit to Jody R. Miller, class of 1970. I met my dear friend and colleague Jody Miller in the Hub, in the brand new Arena Theater back in 1984. Jody was then in his 12th year as an English teacher at Bethlehem's Freedom High School. He had already twice been recognized as an outstanding young man of America, given in recognition of outstanding professional achievement, superior leadership ability, and exceptional service to the community. Back in 1985, one of Jody's students was named Male Presidential Scholar of the Year in Pennsylvania, and Jody received a Certificate of Teaching Excellence from the White House Commission on Presidential Scholars at Georgetown University. For 9 of 10 years, from 1990 to 2000, Jody would be nominated by his former Freedom High School students to Who's Who among America's high school teachers. At Freedom, Jody took on many leadership roles: class advisor, theater arts director, English department chair, and faculty advisor to the Fife and Drum Literary Magazine, which under Jody's tutelage won awards from the Pennsylvania Scholastic Press and Columbia University. When I joined the Freedom English Department as Jody's colleague, I had the pleasure, the privilege, and honor of preparing 10th grade students for Jody's legendary Honors American Literature course. Boy, Jody had a reputation for being a mighty tough grader who made his students think deeply about their reading as they engaged in literary analysis while simply adoring and revering him. Now, as a Penargil High School student in the 1960s, Jody did not have the advantage of having classes with Moravian prepared teachers. He wrote this in the spring 2015 Moravian College magazine. When I came to Moravian in the fall of 1966, I arrived as a student, not a scholar. My high school education consisted of reading and memorizing the works of great men and later regurgitating those words onto the pages of a blue book. Under the guidance of Moravian professors, including Lloyd Burkhart, Eugene Jacobson, Jack Ramsey, Marlon Rader, and Joanna Ott, Jody notes that he learned to pay attention to detail, to think critically, to analyze, to synthesize, to express his own ideas clearly. Jody says, in my transformation from student to scholar, I was encouraged to take risks and explore the realms of my wildest imaginings. After all, the scholar needs to be a little revolutionary. Today, Jody is quite a benefactor to Moravian College. In addition to his continuous giving to the annual fund and his membership in the Comenius Society, Cornerstone Society, 1742 Circle Gift Club, the Miller Mackey Memorial Fountain and Garden adorn the new Health Sciences building, lit brightly by the Moravian star that Jody and his family so generously provided. Thanks to Jody, the flowers have been replanted in the South Campus pleasure gardens. Non-music majors in the Moravian College Choir may take music lessons, and this year's spring concert has a new benefactor. Funded by Jody's late mother, Gloria G. Miller, endowed scholarships support students studying sacred music, pre-law, business, and nursing. Thanks to Jody, Moravian students now receive the Lillian Knowles Jones Endowed Scholarship in Voice, the Sarah von Yellowstein Endowed Scholarship in Education, and the Joanna Ott Endowed Scholarship in Mathematics. Jody's philanthropy extends beyond Moravian to the Wounded Warrior Project, the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, and Trinity Episcopal Church. Why Moravian, though? Jody says, because giving feels good and it's the right thing to do. Not to give would be selfish and mean-spirited, for I would be denying another person the right to experience what I experienced as a student here. I give to help ease some of the financial stress that comes with deciding to attend college. I give because I believe in Moravian College. I believe in its purpose, its mission, its goals, its dreams and hopes, its ambitions and aspirations. I give as a way of honoring my family. I give because I believe in the students. They are bright, articulate, eager, polite, respectful, respectable young men and women with enormous potential and promise. Jody R. Miller, on behalf of the Moravian College Alumni Association, I am honored to present you with the Medallion of Merit.
I have a confession to make. For the past 52 years, I've been having an affair. One with Moravian College. It began at freshman orientation in September of 1966 and has continued up until the present. In all honesty, I don't see this relationship, this affair of the heart, ever coming to an end. Even after I cease to be, I will still walk the path from the hub to my voice and diction class in Comenius Hall, and I will still spend time in Reeves Library preparing for my Monica Shantz Music History final exam. I will tread the boards of Prosser Auditorium portraying Little Chap in Stop the World I Want to Get Off, and I will cut Dr. McConnell's philosophy class in order to play bridge in the cafeteria. I'll process down the aisle of Central Moravian Church, singing Gustav Holst's Ideo as a member of the Moravian College Choir. And yes, I'll even sit in the lounge of the Student Union building on a snowy Saturday afternoon, reading James Joyce's Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man, in order to be prepared for my Tuesday morning World Lit class with Dr. Burkhardt. I loved my 4 years on campus. They were truly the 4 best years of my life. I felt comfortable here. I felt at home here. Academically, I felt challenged, encouraged, stimulated, nurtured, and nourished in body, soul, mind, and spirit. Moravian and I were the perfect fit. After graduating, I knew I wanted to continue my affiliation with the college, and that is when I decided to move into the area of financial giving. That decision came quite naturally to me, since giving was a lesson I learned from my mother and my father, my 2 grandmothers, and in particular from my paternal grandfather, who through actions, not words or sermons or lectures, taught me the importance of being a good steward. As an alumnus, I am a steward of this college, and as such, it is my responsibility to see the institution prosper and survive. What a sad and horrific day it would be to pick up the Morning Call or the Express Times and see the headline stating, after 276 years, Moravian College has gone out of business. No, that's not acceptable. No, that will never be. I do believe in this school. I believe in its mission, its goals, its dreams and hopes, its aspirations and its ambitions. And that is why I chose and continue to share my time, my talents, and my treasures with her. I also believe in the Moravian students. They are, as Mr. Shosh quoted me as saying, bright, articulate, conscientious, hardworking, courteous, respectful young men and women. That is why I decided to support them through endowed scholarships. And let me assure you that the students who receive these scholarships are extremely, extremely appreciative of the gift. And even more importantly, every one of them has sincerely told me that they plan to pay it forward. In other words, that is to say, they plan to invoke the golden rule. They will do for future students what has been done for them. I've been given many blessings in my life. I've been given good friends, wonderful neighbors, a loving and caring family. In fact, I've actually been given 2 loving and caring families, which makes me a very fortunate individual indeed. I want to express my deep appreciation and gratitude to the college, to President Grigsby, to Mr. Gary Carney, to the Alumni Board, to Robert Gratz and Amanda Werner for bestowing upon me this award, this distinguished honor, the Medallion of Merit. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Jody. I think I speak for everyone here when I have not heard a more touching commentary on why supporting Moravian is such a vital part of who we are, and it's clear to see about why students, I'm sure, loved your class year after year after year. That was so convincing, I think I even saw President Grigsby writing a check to the college itself. So if you see that phone number on your phone like 10 times, I think he finally has the message that he wants to deliver so many times. The second recipient has helped to create a tradition of a strong dance program at Moravian. Here to present the 2018 Medallion of Merit Award to Susan McCabe, class of 79, is Dawn Ketterman-Bennett.
Good evening and warm congratulations to tonight's Alumni Award winners and to former winners who are also here with us. What a distinct pleasure it is for me to speak about Susan Gangwere McCabe. And what a fateful day it was 43 years ago when Susan was on a Moravian campus visit and watched a maypole dance on the quad by the Moravian Dance Club. A memory Susan and I still laugh about today. The dancers managed to get themselves embarrassingly wrapped up in the maypole ribbons and struggled to get themselves free, which they eventually did, and ran back to Johnston Hall. I'm not sure what I said or did to have the dancers return to the quad and attempt the maypole dance again, but this time it was a success. Susan did confess it was very funny, but an introduction to the dance club she would long remember. Susan was an outstanding and involved student at both Liberty High School and Moravian College. And at Moravian, she continued to achieve and inspire her classmates and make a lasting impression on her professors. In addition to demanding internships with Historic Bethlehem and the highly acclaimed National Archives, she was actively involved in several organizations and clubs. Sorority President, History Honor Society, the Grotto Club, and most notably, the Moravian College Dance Club. I had the wonderful fortune to teach dance and choreography to Susan and watch her grow into an accomplished performer and creative choreographer. Rarely would she complain about the many 11 p.m. rehearsals in Johnston Hall on a very hard floor. After her graduation in 1979, Susan continued to give back to her beloved college, especially to the dance program. As a result of her interest in and financial commitment to the program, dance went from a club to the Moravian College Dance Company, and today dancers receive academic credit and are able to minor in dance. Not only did she initiate the Dawn Ketterman-Bennett Dance Fund, but she has continued to spearhead giving to the fund, which provides Moravian dancers with opportunities to work with professional dancers and choreographers, attend concerts by professional dance companies, and take classes, rehearse, and perform on specially designed dance floors. Constantly thinking of ways to give back, her next dream is to see a dance studio here on South Campus. Susan is most definitely an idea person. And as Moravian's Community Relations Director in the 1980s, her positive energy and make it happen attitude resulted in the following accomplishments. The Countess Benigna statue behind Main Hall. She curated Silver in Bethlehem for the Payne Gallery and assisted with the college Decorative Arts Collection. Was a member of the first class of Leadership Bethlehem and a member of the Fine Arts Commission. Was instrumental in the creation of the Bethlehem Collegium of Historic Organizations and Moravian College, and curated a Moravian architecture exhibit with her husband, Jim McCabe. Susan's life continued to read like a who's who in museum work, and for that distinction, she credits Moravian and her former history professors, Dan Gilbert and Bob Stinson, for helping her pursue her passion. After graduating from SUNY Urbana, one of the top museum graduate programs in the country, Susan worked for prestigious museums and historic sites. Today, her creative idea generating continues to serve her Dearborn, Michigan community. The Ribbon Farm Hops is her most recent project, a project she hopes to expand into and revitalize a Detroit neighborhood. Susan loves Bethlehem and Moravian College, and she and Jim were actually married in Pater Hall. She continues to return to campus as often as possible to attend the Moravian College Dance Company concerts. Susan Gangwere McCabe is a remarkable woman, a giving alum, and most deserving of this year's Medallion of Merit Award. Susan, I am so very proud of you and honored to have you as a friend. And I know your mother is smiling and applauding you from the heavens above. Congratulations again.
President Grisby, staff, alumni, and friends, thank you very much to Dawn and the Alumni Awards Committee for this honor. Thank you to my dear friend Mary Jo Falco Johnson and my former boss Tom Tenges for their support of me receiving this award. And thank you to Amanda Werner for your efforts in organizing this event. I am truly humbled by this act of appreciation. I honestly prefer to remain behind the spotlight, but feel honored to be recognized for my support of dance at Moravian. I also want to thank my daughter Betsy, who was unable to be here today, and my husband Jim, who was always there to support my ideas, from starting the dance fund at Moravian to growing hops in Detroit. In a few weeks, it will be 29 years that we were wed in Pater Hall, and I truly thank you, Jim, for your love and support throughout these years. I must mention that although Jim graduated from St. Lawrence University in Canton, New York, little did he know that he too was influenced by a Moravian education at the time. Let me explain. At the retirement dinner for Dan Gilbert, Dan's former student, who was offering remarks that evening, was Dr. Peter French, Moravian class of 1960. Dr. French happened to be Jim's St. Lawrence professor that took him to Kenya on a study program. So yes, a Moravian education can have a long reach and sometimes circle back in surprising ways. Although I've lived in Michigan for the past 25 years, Moravian has always been kept close to my heart. I grew up in Bethlehem, and as a child came to campus for community concerts in Johnston Hall and walked down from Liberty to see art shows in the Hub. But it wasn't until I had a conversation with my high school French teacher, Debbie Clausen Brown, when I decided to check out Moravian. Although I had been accepted to Penn State in the intervening months, I had decided that a large school really wasn't what I wanted. It was quite a coincidence in retrospect, because the day I came for my campus tour was the day of the Renaissance Fair, as you just heard from Dawn. Little did I know that that day I'd see the dancers who would become an important part of my life. Why has dance at Moravian mattered so much to me? I had studied dance growing up, but had no aspirations of being a professional dancer. But the Moravian Dance Club provided me the opportunity to pursue my passion and continue to experience the joy dance brings. That first fall term, I was delighted to learn that the dance club was open to anyone, no audition. I had frozen at the choir audition. I had studied primarily ballet, so modern dance was something new to me. Dawn taught us so much about different modern dance techniques and the subtle use of our muscles and body to achieve them. Dance was one of the few activities I participated in that first freshman semester. Grotto trips were the other, where I learned to rock climb and rappel down a mountainside. I was a commuter student, so the dance club was an entree to a larger campus community beyond those I knew from high school. My dance friends invited me to join Alpha Epsilon Pi sorority, which expanded my campus friendships even further and developed my lifelong friendship with Mary Jo. While many commuter students come and go to class and find it difficult to blend into the student body, these organizations broke down those barriers for me. While I learned modern dance techniques and how to choreograph, Dance Club also increased my self-confidence, channeled my creativity, and during stressful academic periods, it was my release. I am delighted that the Dance Club has continued, and now Moravian students can minor in dance and under an expanding curriculum with the music department. I also learned through Dawn's philosophy and my experiences at Moravian that dance can be enjoyed by anyone who's interested. When I was site director at Sunnyside, the home of Washington Irving, I started a historic dance company. Comprised of volunteers, it was a group of people of various ages and quite a range of experience and abilities. Despite the challenges some members faced, I saw the joy they exuded when they danced. We started the Dawn Ketterman Dance Fund with the support of alumni dancers to acquire a dance floor for performances. We all remembered our cut-up bare feet from the Johnston Hall floor. And it has now continued to grow to support student dancers through professional dance workshops and trips to see performances. I was so delighted to hear about the students' trip into New York last year to see the Alvin Ailey Dance Company. I fondly remember our trip to the Martha Graham studio, a highlight of my life. I'm glad the DBK Fund allows those special memories to still be made. I credit Moravian with not only laying a solid academic foundation for my career, but developing a long list of life skills, such as organizing programs, taking risks, and leading organizations, skills that I have used throughout my career. I am very, very grateful for my education at Moravian. Again, my sincerest thanks for this honor. I also wish to thank my parents who provided me with the opportunity to attend Moravian and instilled in me the importance of caring about those you hold dear and giving back so others can pursue their dreams. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. In 1970, the Moravian College Alumni Association established the Haupert Humanitarian Award to honor an alumna or alumnus who has rendered outstanding service in the cause of human welfare. Consideration is given to alumni whose service extends beyond the normal requirements of their jobs. The Haupert Humanitarian Award is not awarded every year, but only when an alumnus or alumna who is truly worthy of recognition for distinctive humanitarian service comes to the attention of the Alumni Association Executive Committee. Our 2018 recipients' dedication to helping older people overcome challenges they face every day is truly remarkable. And I am pleased to ask Richard Fischel, 97, to present Lauren Baksa, 97, MBA, 99, as the 2018 Haupert Humanitarian Award recipient.
Good afternoon. It is my great pleasure today to introduce to you Miss Lauren Baksa. Excuse me. Lauren and I became friends back here at Moravian. We shared some classes together, and it was when Lauren started her MBA that we really got to know one another, and she and a group of her colleagues had worked together on a business venture that I was working on. For those of you who are not familiar with the term LPA, which you'll hear me refer to a few times, The letters stand for Little People of America. This is a cause in which Lauren is very passionate about and which she has spent much of her life working to improve the lives of everyone in her community. Before knowing Lauren, I can honestly say I didn't know much about what LPA was, what it stood for, and what people did for this organization. It's a group of people that works tirelessly day in and day out to improve the quality of life for all individuals who live with a form of dwarfism. The work that they do isn't glamorous. It doesn't get anyone large paychecks. They do it to improve our community and the lives of people who live with dwarfism. And most of them do it because they have a voice that can be heard, and a voice to continue advocating for all those with dwarfism. Lauren has been an advocate for herself and for the LPA community since she was a child. When Lauren was born, her parents made sure that she found the best medical care that would help her to grow and thrive. From an early age, she was involved with many groups, both locally and regionally, where she could meet other people who shared similar conditions, as well as get to know their families and see how they interacted together. It's also where I believe she found her strength to know that there was nothing that she couldn't do. Size was not going to get in the way of her achieving great things. Lauren's sister, it was always one of her biggest cheerleaders, and always knew that she was going to do great things and continues to be one of her greatest supporters. As Lauren grew, she was never afraid to take on a challenge. She was always the person who was willing to answer what might be considered an uncomfortable question from someone. She was always the person that was also willing to engage a conversation when someone might have stared a little too long. Lauren would rather inform others and engage them rather than just let someone else handle it. I'm gonna get in trouble for this next part, but anyone that knows Lauren knows that there's this giant inside voice that she has. And when we hear that voice, we know that she's speaking out of a place of passion and concern. And when you hear that voice, be ready to listen. Trust me, you will. In high school and college, Lauren worked very hard, both academically and socially, and her academics stand for themselves. There's nothing that really stood in her way. In '97, she graduated from Moravian with her undergraduate degree, and then continued on immediately to continue with her MBA, graduating in 1999. After leaving, she's gone on to learn medical billing and pair medical billing along with her MBA skills to her current position today as the billing manager at Moravian Village here in Bethlehem. Lauren takes her work very seriously and does her job with dignity and pride. For most of us, this is where our story would end, but this is where Lauren's story actually just begins. Lauren knows that many people before her have worked tirelessly without acknowledgement to improve the lives of the LPA community. So that is why she has chosen to get involved and give back to the community that has supported her. If I can take a moment and acknowledge a few of the things that Lauren has achieved in her role as a leader, here are just a few. Lauren was the first female member and president of the Northampton Exchange Club. At the time, it was an exclusively male organization, but Lauren quickly earned the respect and the value of her commitment. A few years later, Lauren decided to take on the thankless job as president of the Homeowners Association, where she learned to manage the pitfalls of community interaction, let's say. Fast forward to today, Lauren is the president of the Saucon Valley Lions Club. Her commitment to her community and its members stands as a shining example of how she leads by example. It's not about a person's height, but about the commitment of doing what they what they can to make the community better for the next generation. It's this kind of selfless action that stands out and makes Lauren an outstanding example for what the world needs. Lauren takes all of her work and volunteer experience and bundles it all together to serve her local community, regional and national LPA organizations. This includes everything from simply sending out emails to helping to organize regional events that host hundreds of people within the LPA community. The most recent one just happened a few years ago, where a few hundred members of the LPA community gathered here in Bethlehem for a convention. After all the endless hours of her work, both paid and unpaid, Lauren always makes time for her family and friends. Anyone who knows Lauren knows that she can always be counted on to listen. She can always be a voice of reason and a smile to help you get through the day. These are the qualities that make an exceptional woman. I know that Lauren's grandmother, Nana as we all know her, is watching down over us tonight with pride. I remember talking to her and her Nana saying that she's not quite sure how Lauren does it or where she finds the energy, but she's always thinking of others in everything that she does. In my opinion, that's what a humanitarian is and does. So ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to introduce to you Ms. Lauren Baksa.
I want to thank Moravian College and the Alumni Association for this award. I would also like to thank Rich Fischel for nominating me and for those kind remarks. And this time you're not in trouble. The Haupert Humanitarian Award recognizes alumni who have rendered service in the cause of human welfare. By advocating for little people, I'm hoping to make a difference in how society perceives us. Not a lot of information was known about achondroplasia, my official diagnosis, when I was born. My parents did their homework, and when I was 2, they found a doctor at Johns Hopkins Hospital who specialized in little people. My parents always made sure I had the medical care I needed, as well as the adaptations needed for me. Growing up, I always felt I was a normal kid, except short. People would sometimes stare, ask how old I was, or what was wrong with me. My parents would have always had a response for them, sometimes nice, sometimes not so nice. My sister Megan learned from my parents and always had my back. She was willing to help me, but knew I would ask for help if I needed it. As a kid, I was always very independent and didn't ask for help unless I really needed it. As I got older, I became more aware that I was different, and people viewed me differently. In response to this, I had to find another way to stand out, and that was through my academics. I was accepted at Moravian College in 1993 and graduated in 1997, magna cum laude, and immediately entered the MBA program, as Rich said, and graduated in 1999. During my time at Moravian, I had many wonderful professors, but one in particular challenged me in a unique way, Dr. Santo Marabella. He encouraged me to think about how I was going to have employers and society see me for me and educate them on what accommodations I needed. This is something I had not really thought about, but needed to start. In 2003, after being out of college and in the workforce, I felt something was missing from my life. I decided I would attend a regional LPA of America convention in New Jersey. Needless to say, when I walked into the hotel, I was taken aback. Seeing a room full of little people for the first time is shocking. I then realized I'm not the only one. And hey, I'm not the shortest either. Over the past 15 years, I've met some great people, including my significant other, Joe. I've tried to help the organization eliminate the word midget and make the public aware of what being a little person really means. We are not elves or circus people. We are individuals who have jobs and face everyday struggles just like everybody else. Society is changing. With more television shows about the little people, the stares are less, and now the questions are not what is wrong with you, but are you on that TV show? And do you know so-and-so from that TV show? To me, this is a move in the positive direction. In closing, I would not be able to be an advocate for little people if I did not have people in my life who are my advocates. They see me for the person I am and not how tall I am. I would like to thank my family, my parents, Rich and Suzanne, my sister Megan and her husband Andy, and my niece Ava, my best friend Sharon and her husband Eric, and their two boys Kevin and Drew, my significant other Joe, my roommates Rich and Mark, and my co-workers Robin and Dan, who when they interviewed me, saw me for me and hired me for my ability. Thank you again, Moravian College and the Alumni Association.
Thank you, Lauren. Since 1941, the Alumni Association has honored one of our most distinguished alumni with the John Amos Comenius Alumni Award for outstanding achievement in his or her profession. As a distinguished leader in the field of men's fashion, this year's recipient, Bruce Boyer, class of 1963, more than meets the criteria for this award. Here to present the 2018 Comenius Alumni Award recipient is Gary Carney, Vice President of Institutional Advancement.
It is truly my honor to introduce Moravian College alumnus G. Bruce Boyer, a world-renowned menswear writer, the 2018 Comenius Award. I have to tell you, I was very nervous about getting dressed tonight. I'm going to be introducing Bruce Boyer, one of the most distinguished fashion icons in the world. So I thought, well, I could wear an Armani suit. But no, I only have Joseph A. Bank. I could wear a nice pocket square, but I only have dirty white handkerchiefs. And then I read a little bit about Bruce, and I read that he likes plaid, he likes corduroy, and brown shoes. Well, Bruce, the brown shoes with a dull blue suit is the best I can do. But enough about my lack of fashion. Let's talk about Bruce's accomplishments. Bruce is the author of 7 books and an authority on men's fashion with articles featured in Esquire, GQ, The Wall Street Journal, and The New Yorker. Bruce's writings and philosophy of style and of life have shaped the way our society thinks about men's clothing over the past 4 decades. It's natural to wonder how an English literature graduate from Moravian College becomes one of the leading writers about men's fashion. Bruce grew up in Allentown, and as a small child was taken by the style of different kids in his neighborhood and how they dressed. He took notice of this and developed his own style. And as Bruce shared with me, his mother was very gracious in allowing him to go to school in certainly attire that was a little bit different at that particular time. But eventually, he settled into what most people would consider the Ivy League look. Bruce entered Moravian College as an English major in 1959 and also spent time working in men's stores, further cultivating his love of men's fashions. Following his graduation from Moravian College, Bruce received a master's degree from Lehigh and began teaching English at the college level, including 2 years as a professor at Moravian College. His career changed as a result of an article on the style and dress of the Duke of Windsor that he submitted to Town & Country magazine, somewhat on a lark. To his great surprise, he received a call from the editor of Town & Country and asked him to come to New York for an interview. He was hired as a writer on men's fashion for Town and Country and thus switched careers from being an English professor to a writer on men's fashion. His expertise in men's style and his curiosity and appreciation for the history of clothing had led him to hold prestigious roles across the globe. He has served as a curator for numerous fashion exhibitions, as well as a consultant for retailers including Ralph Lauren, Bergdorf Goodman, and Drakes of London, among many others. He has been recognized internationally by Permanent Style as one of the 5 best dressed men of 2017. Apparently, he just nudged me out of the top 5. Tonight, we are honoring Bruce for his accomplishments as a writer, but also as a liberal arts graduate who has built a meaningful career as an English major. Bruce is known to quote Chaucer and Shakespeare in his fashion writing. In a sophisticated and simple way, he informs us how our decisions about clothes are influenced by generations of history. At the same time, Bruce makes clothing simple for anyone, even myself, to understand. He educates us that we don't have to take fashion so seriously and that we can think about it with an air of nonchalance. Something that also shines through Bruce's writing, as well as just talking to Bruce, is his wit and sense of humor. Bruce, it is a sincere honor to present you with the Comenius Award this evening and to recognize you for your most impressive accomplishments since your days at Moravian College. Would you please come forward to receive the Comenius Award?
I was absolutely mesmerized by that introduction. I had two contrasting thoughts. I guess the one was, gee, well, he sounds like a kind of interesting guy. I'd like to get to know him. Then I thought, well, maybe that was kind of Freudian, you know. And my other the thought was, oh my God, I'm listening to my own obituary. Well, thank you very much. President Grigsby, my fellow recipients, and ladies and gentlemen, I am so very grateful for this opportunity, apart from the obvious reasons, because it allows me to do something that I thought I'd always like to do. I would like to thank not only the Moravian of today, but the Moravian of my generation, particularly the faculty. Those men and women who wore the mantle of wisdom so well. I suspect that when I came here in the late summer of 1959, I was like many other young people. I was a bit lost, certainly unsure, and even quite vulnerable, as young people can be. But they took me in, and they gave me the tools and the inspiration that have really served me so well, even to this day. They were kind and caring, generous, and incredibly gracious. And it's really not too much to say that I adored them all. I don't think I ever went to any of them with a question or a problem or concern that they didn't very graciously give of their time. I only wish that they were here today, that they might know that. This day will pass as days must, but I have no doubt that the spirit of education that I found here over half a century ago, and which is still so manifest today, will continue to flourish in this place where young people can find themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. The first time I met Bruce was several years ago, and I was at a dinner at his house, and he said something to me about how he has written for Town and Country, and I said I didn't read much Town and Country, and he just said, I know. Thank you, Bruce. Please join me in extending our sincere congratulations to all of our recipients. You will have the opportunity to congratulate our award recipients in person at the reception immediately following the ceremony. Before you leave, I would like to ask all the presenters and award recipients, students included, to come to the stage area for additional photos immediately following the ceremony. Tonight's reception will be held in Pater Hall, which is located on the second floor of this building. As you exit this room, please make a right and take either the stairs or the elevator to the second floor following signs for Pater Hall. After exiting the stairs or the elevator, follow the hallway down to the reception. Students and staff will be present along the way to assist you. Those with tickets for tonight's Vespers will walk over as a group a little before 7 p.m. So please gather by the entrance doors of Pater Hall. Staff and students will once again guide you to the church. Again, please wait to congratulate the recipients until they arrive in the reception. Thank you again for coming, and please enjoy the rest of your evening.